Good morning, students. Welcome to Lattice series live lecture. In this lecture, we will be discussing another definition of lattice as an algebra. So, to see that, let me go to this. Okay. So, last class we have discussed about dual. So, just recall that we already know that P with this relation, if it is a poset, then define new relation A greater than or equal to B if and only if B is less than or equal to A. Then with respect to this relation, then the set P together with this relation is also a lattice, sorry, poset. We can check this, it's very easy. Okay, and this poset is called, this is called dual of the poset. Yes. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are reversing the relation. So whatever we get that poset, that is also called a dual poset. Okay, it is also poset called dual poset. If we want to see quickly an example, so example is that if we draw, you can understand easily with respect to this diagram. Okay, suppose this is your poset 0 1 A and B. If this is your poset, then what should be the dual poset? The dual poset is you simply revert this, okay, up and down. So this will become 1, this will become 0, A and B. So actually what we are doing here is uh, through this, okay, you try to invert in this way, up and down. Then what you get here is called, this is dual poset. Okay, fine. So we have seen many things yesterday. This is quick recall about last class. Now what we do here is, we know already, so what we know as a lattice is that this, if you call it L, is a lattice, of course, as a poset. If infimum of A comma B and supremum of A comma B, okay, exists for all A comma B in L. If you take any two elements, then for them infimum and supremum should exist. Then we say that that poset is a lattice. Right? Now what we will see the other way. Okay, that means we'll other way of defining lattice, that we will see. Uh, what we do here is start with, so let this L, okay, be a lattice. That means the above those two conditions are satisfied. Now we'll try to define an algebra. So to define an algebra, we define two operations. Define A meet B. So read as A meet B. Okay, as infimum of this A comma B. Similarly, define A join B as supremum of this A comma B. Okay, so this we are reading as, read as A join B. So with respect to these two, we can check that this operation meet and join, they are actually binary operations if it is a lattice. Why it is? Because it is a lattice, we know that this supremum and infimum, okay, so this supremum and infimum exist. So because of this, we know that this A meet B and A join B, they actually become binary operations. So therefore, this meet and join, they are actually mapped from L cross L to L, and they will be now binary operations. So because they are binary operations, hence This L together with these two operations is an algebra. Okay, fine. Now we will try to observe some properties of this meet and join when we have defined in this way. Okay. So first we can observe that. So try to observe. It is commutative. That means A meet B is B meet A. Why? This is clear. Since A meet B is infimum of A comma B, but infimum of these two elements is same as infimum of B comma A, which is B meet E. Right? So similarly, you can have that A join B. Similarly, A join B is same as B join A. These two are called commutative properties or identity, you can call it. So commutative identities. Okay, the above two. Now we can also observe the second one is that associativity is also true. Associativity associativity is that A meet B meet C. Okay, is same as A meet B meet C, and this is actually same as A meet B meet C. Why this is true is again yesterday when we discussed A meet B meet C is nothing but infimum of A then infimum of B comma C. But this is same as infimum of A comma B then C and you take for that infimum. Okay, this is or it is also same as infimum of if you simply take A B C you get the same thing. That H, if you recall, H is our three element set, then we have proved this, right? So similarly, it is also true for join. So A join B join C is same as A join B join C, which is A join B join C. Okay, fine. Then the third one you can observe here is idempotent. Idempotent means idempotent identities. So A meet A is clearly A in this case, and A join A is also because A meet A is infimum of A comma A and A join A is supremum of A comma A, which is A. Right? Then the other non-trivial one which we will see is called absorption identities. So what are these absorption identities? Is A meet, okay, A meet A join B is nothing but A, or A join A meet B is also A. So what is the meaning of this? Is that when you try to meet with A bigger than that, okay, then you are not going to get anything new. So you can see that here this A meet B, A join B. When you are trying to meet with A, it actually insides absorbs in this only. You won't get anything new, you are getting A only. Similarly, when you try to join A meet B, which is a smaller one, so when you try to join with a smaller one to the bigger one, then also you don't get anything. So this absorbs in this. Yep. That's why these two are called absorption identities. And why this is true here in this case is that we will observe the first thing. Note, we can note the following is that in this case A is less than or equal to B if and only if this A meet B, okay, is A and A join B is B. Why? Because A meet B, so one I can do it here. A meet B by definition is infimum of A comma B, but say if A is less than or equal to B, then A meet B is by definition is this, but because A is already less than or equal to B, so A is a lower bound and it will be the greatest lower bound, so you get A. And similarly, and A join B is supremum of A comma B, but B is an upper bound and it will be the least upper bound, so you get this B. Right? The converse also is obvious. A meet B if it is A, then A is less than or equal to B, and so on, right? So what you can observe here is whenever A is less than or equal to B, then A meet B is A itself. Okay. So therefore, what we have proved is that A is less than or equal to B if and only if A meet B is A and A join B is B. Right? Now, if you use this fact, you can prove this. What is A meet A join B? A meet A join B is A only by this property, since A is less than or equal to A join B. And what is the other one? A join A meet B is again A. What is the reason? Same. A meet B is less than or equal to A. So when you try to join with bigger one, you get the bigger one. Is this clear? So we have used these two properties here, right? Fine. So if why we did all these things? So if any algebra satisfies these all properties, then we call it that as a lattice. So we will define our definition. Okay. So we can define now as a definition of that means second definition of a lattice. Okay. So lattice as an algebra. We know lattice as a poset. So we'll see now lattice as an algebra. So an algebra is L with two operations. Okay, where this meet and join are two binary operations is called is called a lattice if these two operations satisfies if this meet and join are idempotent idempotent and you can call it what are this commutative, whatever we checked earlier, associative, and satisfies, they should satisfy this absorption identities. This absorption identities we use frequently. They are very useful concept. Okay, so this is definition of uh, lattice. So whatever we have discussed above, we can immediately state that the following proof we already did. Now we are doing statement further. So let L as a poset be a lattice. So we started with a lattice. You can see that here we started with a lattice as a poset. Then we have defined two operations. With respect to those two operations, you see that we have discussed all properties are satisfied. So therefore, that algebra will become a lattice, right? Define A meet B is as infimum of A comma B, and A join B as supremum of A comma B. So with respect to these two operations, then this L together with this two, this is an algebra, is a lattice. Okay, proof discussed above. So we have to write that as it is, right? Fine. So we have seen two definitions. We can quickly write this the comparison. So what are two definitions of lattice? The first one we can write here. So let me draw a line so that okay, fine. Okay. So here we'll write here as lattice as a poset, and we'll see lattice as algebra. Okay. So what is meant by lattice as a poset? This L together with this relation less than or equal to is a lattice if infimum of a comma b and supremum of a comma b, they should belongs to L. For every a comma b belongs to L. Now what about as an algebra? So we should have this L. Let me change the color so that we can. So take L and these two binary operations. This will become a lattice if this it should be these two operations should be commutative, and this should be associative and idempotent. So these two operations should satisfy these conditions. Not only that, they should satisfy absorption identities. Okay, what are the absorption identities? The name itself suggests that you take A, and when you meet with the bigger one, you get the same. Similarly, you take A, and when you join with the smaller one, you get again this bigger one. Okay, these are two definitions. Okay, one can see this, and we have already this theorem, above theorem, says that if you have given lattice as a poset, then you get lattice as a algebra. Okay, we can look about the other way also. That means, so the theorem, next theorem is that if we take algebra, lattice algebra, then we can get lattice as a poset. So start with let L together with these two binary operations. We don't know how they have defined. Okay, be a lattice algebra. Okay, then we want to define a relation in such a way that you get a poset and it is a lattice. Okay, so for that, define A less than or equal to B if and only if A meet B is equal to E. So we are defining this. With respect to this relation, then this L together with this relation is a poset, and as a poset, this will become a lattice. L is a lattice. So that means, given a lattice as an algebra, we are defining some relation. With respect to that relation, it will be a poset, and as a poset, it is a lattice. Okay. Okay. Let's see the proof. What is given? We have defined A less than or equal to B if and only if A meet B is equal to E. So we know something about meet and join because it is given as lattice algebra. So every time, whenever we want to prove something less than or equal to, then what we do here is we will try to show that their meet is the left hand side one. A meet B is A, then A is less than or equal to B. Okay, fine. So how we will prove that? Whenever we want to show, so our first claim is, so claim one, this is, you try to show it. If you are not getting, I will discuss in next class. So this you show is a poset, so that it satisfies those three conditions. Okay, if you are having any problem, we will see in next class, but try this, you try it, exercise. So you should know something from your side also, right? Now what claim 2 is, we will show that this is a lattice. That means we will show that infimum of a comma b, okay, and supremum of a comma b, they actually exist, they belongs to L, right? So what we show is that we will show that infimum of a comma b is actually A meet B. This we will show that. Similarly, we will show that supremum of this A comma B is A join B. Once we prove this, then because L is a lattice algebra, okay, as L is a lattice algebra, we know that meet and join they are binary operations. So therefore this belongs to L and this also belongs to L. So when our claim is done. Okay, so let's see the first one. To show the first one, we want to show that this A meet B is greatest lower bound. So first for that we have to show that A meet B is a lower bound of A and B. So clearly A meet B is less than or equal to A and A meet B is also less than or equal to B. Why this is true? So whenever we want to talk about relation, we have to go and meet with it. Since A meet B meet A is same as A meet B meet A, by using associativity and so on, what we get is this. But A meet A is same as A by idempotent. So we are getting that A meet B. So here we are getting that A meet B meeting with A is same as A meet B. So A meet B is less than or equal to A, right? So similarly you get that A meet B. When you try to meet with B, you get A meet B only, right? Because you have B meet B, which is B one. So that proves that this A meet B is a lower bound, right? Lower bound for this set for A comma B. Now, to show that it is greatest lower bound, what we usually do, we have to go with any lower bound. Let C be a lower bound for this set A comma B. Then our claim is what? To make sure that A meet B is greatest lower bound, we want to show that C is less than or equal to A meet B. If we show that C is less than or equal to A meet B, then A meet B will become greatest lower bound, right? Fine. Now using the given data, C is a lower bound. So what you get here is C is less than or equal to A and C is also less than or equal to B, right? But if C is less than or equal to A, what is the meaning of this? C meet A. C meet A is same as C. Okay. Yeah, if you want, you can write this side. And C meet B is again C. Right. So therefore, if I want to show this one, I want to meet with this. So C meet A meet B is somehow we want to show that is same as C only, right? But this is same as C meet A, then meet B, right? But C meet A is same as C here. You can see this, right? So C meet B, but again C meet B is same as C, right? So we shown that C meet A meet B is equal to C. This implies C is less than or equal to A meet B. So therefore, A meet B is actually the greatest lower bound. Is the greatest lower bound for this set A comma B. So that means A meet B is nothing but infimum of A comma, right? So similar argument. So you do it on your own. If you are not getting, again we will see next class. Try to show that A join B is supremum of A comma. That means try to show that A join B is first is a upper bound for this A and B, and it is the least upper bound. Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll see in next class.